Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we are decoding the very machinery of your human experience. Why? Because you're being lied to every single day by advertisements, politicians, and maybe even people close to you. We want to arm you with the knowledge to stop being what essentially amounts to a meat puppet.
Because here's the harsh biological truth. Your brain is incredibly lazy. And hey, don't take it personally. It's just a biological machine designed to save energy, which means it absolutely loves taking shortcuts. But here is the major problem with that. People who want your money, your vote, or your compliance, they know exactly how to exploit those shortcuts. And they do this using logical fallacies. Think of these as biological glitches in your own reasoning. They literally manipulate you into believing falsehoods or agreeing to choices that are completely against your best interests. So today, we are stealing the manipulator's playbook. We're going to expose the mechanical way these hacks are used to trick you so you can build up your intellectual defense.
All right, first up, diversion and puppet tactics. Let's see how these attack your daily reality.
Starting with the classic, the ad hominem, or the personal attack. The mechanism here is a pure diversion. Instead of addressing the actual argument you're making, someone attacks your character to make your point seem invalid. This is the exact machinery behind gaslighting. Instead of discussing real, tangible issues, the manipulator simply claims, you're just being too sensitive, or you are the problem.
And suddenly, the real issue is completely overshadowed by your perceived flaws. The onset of this fallacy shifts the focus entirely away from the truth. It's designed to make you feel defensive and small, putting you on your heels so you just drop the main argument entirely.
So, how do we fight this? Simple, three-step combat strategy. Step 1. Do not take the bait. Step 2, pause, take a breath. And step 3, aggressively pull the conversation back to the facts. If the discussion becomes about your personality rather than the issue at hand, refuse to engage on that level and return directly to your original point.
This brings us to a tactic you have probably faced 100 times, guilt tripping. Formally, this is the straw man fallacy. This happens when someone takes your actual argument, twists it into a ridiculous, exaggerated fake version that you never even said, and then attacks that fake version instead. They aren't actually arguing with you. They are attacking a puppet they built specifically to make you look like the bad guy.
Like, picture this. You try to set a simple boundary for your own mental or physical health, and boom, their bypass mechanism kicks in. Suddenly, they twist your boundary to mean you are being completely selfish, or you don't care about anything I've done for you. They've completely replaced your reasonable boundary with an exaggerated straw man.
To neutralize this particular hack, you have to follow these steps. First, name the behavior out loud. Tell them exactly what they are doing. Second, tell them flat out that you will not defend a version of yourself that simply does not exist. You refuse to defend the fake puppet. Let the straw man burn and stand your actual ground. All right, next section, the sunk cost trap.
Now, manipulators aren't the only ones tricking you. Sometimes your own biology sets the trap. The sunk cost fallacy is that irrational voice in your head urging you to stick with a bad investment, or a toxic relationship, just because you've already put so much effort into it. Why does this happen? Because your brain absolutely hates admitting a loss. This is exactly the mechanism that keeps you trapped with a failing business or a love bomber who showered you with affection at first but is suddenly turned completely cold.
You tell yourself you're just staying the course, right? But you're actually just throwing good time and good money after bad, because your single real asset is the time you have left right now. Think about $100. This represents the gambler. They lose their first $100 at the table, and instead of walking away, they frantically double down on black simply because their biology will not let them accept that the initial $100 is gone forever. It is a fundamental glitch in human reasoning.
So, your combat strategy here requires brutal honesty. First, you must acknowledge that past time and money are gone completely. You cannot get them back. Second, focus only on your real asset, what you do with your time now. Cut the unrecoverable loss immediately so you can protect the time and energy you still have left.
Moving right along to our next section, crowds and fake experts. Let's look at how the biological urge to belong makes your brain follow the herd right off a steep cliff.
This brings us to the bandwagon, which is the appeal to popularity.
This fallacy overrides your logic with the primal urge to belong to a group. Honestly, this biological glitch is exactly how absurd meme coins like Boner or Fart Rocket become million-dollar sensations overnight. Because everyone else is doing it, your brain literally thinks the crowd is a cheat code to wealth.
But here is the reality check. Popularity does not equal legitimacy. On one side, you have popularity tactics, things like meme coins or a classic triangulation move where someone says, well, everyone thinks you're overreacting. On the other side, you have actual legitimacy, hard facts, and logical value. Just because you are outnumbered by a narrative or a loud group of people does not mean you are wrong on the facts.
Then we have the appeal to authority. This is when you trust a title or a white knight persona instead of evaluating the actual logic holding up their claims. Manipulators use this authoritative persona to just shut down your questions. They act like they possess all the answers and demand your trust simply because of who they claim to be, completely bypassing any need for sound reasoning.
It's kind of like fractional reserve banking. A psychological hack works a lot like a bank vault that only holds a fraction of its deposits. The authority figure's facade only holds up as long as you don't look too closely at the vault to see if the actual logic and value is truly inside. The moment you demand real proof, the entire illusion crumbles.
Which brings us to your ultimate combat strategy. Master your own mind.
Let's lock in these crucial takeaways. First, learn the formula of these fallacies. If you don't decode these mechanics, you will spend your whole life paying a heavy, heavy tax in confusion and regret. Stop paying that tax. Stick fiercely to the facts, not the emotional manipulations. By doing this, you step out of the passenger seat and become the pilot of your own reality.
I really want you to remember this quote. Your mind is the most valuable asset you own, but it's constantly under inflation. Your mental clarity is being eroded every single day by these psychological hacks and logical fallacies. But armed with this knowledge, you can stop being manipulated and protect your greatest asset.
So, I'll leave you with a question. Which of these fallacies have you noticed popping up in your own life lately? Have you fallen for a straw man? Maybe the sunk cost trap? Drop your experiences in the comments down below because we actually do read them. Make sure to subscribe to keep piloting your own reality, and remember, don't just live in your body, master it. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.